Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel, 꿈꿉니다, 영어회화. Today, I have my friend or co-worker in the military. We met in the military before. Would you say hello to viewers?
Hi.
He has very unique experience in learning English, and that's why I have it on my YouTube channel today. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to interview him about what he went through to learn English and how he improved his listening, speaking, and writing skills, and etc. And without any further ado, let's get started. So, how about introducing yourself briefly for our viewers?
Hi, my name is Dong Kim.
Yeah.
I'm a friend of Shim. We met in the military. Technically, I'm not a doctor yet, but I'm going to be a doctor. I just graduated from Jeonbuk National University, and I'm going to start my hospital internship like this March.
Okay, so is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
How does it feel at first when I asked you to be on my YouTube channel and sharing with our viewers and me about your experience in learning English?
At first, I was like, oh, it has finally come. I knew that you were filming YouTube videos about learning English. Sometimes you ask me about some questions about like learning English.
Yeah.
So I kind of figured that you might want to have an interview with me.
Are you nervous at the moment?
A little bit, but not that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by the way, this is our literally first time to talk in English between us. How are you feeling about it? It's quite awkward because you always speak in Korean.
Yeah, it's quite awkward. I think I'm gonna get used to it.
Okay. Thank you for answering. Did you have any worry about this interview?
Yes, I did. I think I'm gonna mention it like in the afterwards. I haven't been using English for at least like 7 years. I kind of worried that my English will be really not that good. Viewers, please be understanding. So
yeah, that's generous.
Yeah,
don't worry
be
about
generous,
that.
yeah.
Okay, so when did you first learn English in your life?
When I was 13, I had a chance to live in the States. My dad's company sent my dad to study abroad. I think that's the start of my learning English. However, during that year, I was like 13 years old, so I never studied for English. I was just like running around neighborhood and then just playing with kids. So it was just like happy memories. For that year, it was just the experience of opening my ears. My English level was not that good.
Okay. So, but do you think that short period of staying in the United States in the past somehow contribute to your English skills at the moment?
Oh, yes, it did.
Even though it's just a year?
It was just an year, but just the fact that it opened up my ear, like listening, it really gave me a really good advantage in learning English.
Okay.
It kind of opens up the opportunities. Like I can just observe it. I didn't study it, but I learned how to observe the English.
Okay. Can you understand most of the English contents like YouTube's movies, and there are many English contents out there. Can you start to understand just naturally all of those contents just after you left the United States?
Even though it opened up my ears, but I have limits in my vocabulary. So if the things gets into like academics or like documentary or something, it's really kind of hard for me to understand the contents like exactly. But still, I could like understand the flow.
Does it mean that when you now watch let's say English movies, can you understand all of them without having any subtitles?
Well, I can watch the movie without any subtitles, but then I cannot say that I hear every word. Even you watch like Korean movies, sometimes you don't get it. Sometimes the actors like tone is really low, so it's really hard to understand.
How many years? So how long have you spent for each country?
So after a year in States, I came back to Korea, and then I had a pretty normal like, middle school and high school life till 고2. And then after that, I went to Malaysia for 2 years. So I went to international school there, and then after that, I went to Canada for university. For 2 years, and then I came back to Korea for military duties, and I met him. While I was in the military, I thought that I might have to come back to Korea because like tuition fee issues. So I came back.
Is that really expensive?
Yeah, it's really expensive.
Okay.
So and then I transferred to Korea University. After I become a high school student, I spent 2 years in Malaysia and 2 years in Canada.
Why did you leave Korea and decide to stay in Malaysia for 2 years and then move to Canada and spend another 2 years?
My dad was sent to Malaysia as a branching company CEO. My parents thought about leaving me in Korea, but then
Alone?
Yeah, alone.
Okay.
So my dad had a philosophy that family should stick together.
Most of viewers at the moment are really curious about what your English at first initially was like. I mean, just around the time when you left Korea and then started spending time in Malaysia. So could you kind of demonstrate, explain what your English was like?
To put it simply, I think I was like a typical high school student, just with the open ears.
Okay.
With better listening skills.
Okay. So you couldn't speak English very well at the time.
Not that well. It makes me kick in the blanket, like still when I think about it.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what do you mean by kick in the what?
Ibuki.
Kick in the blanket?
Kick in the blanket.
Like is that a proper expression? I mean, is that expression other foreigners also commonly use?
I used it and then they understood it. So.
Okay. A random question. If I were viewers, I would be curious about how you actually speak English just after leaving Korea. And then could you kind of demonstrate the way you spoke English at the time?
When I went to Malaysia and then attended international school, I couldn't speak at all. I couldn't listen. I could understand what they were saying, but I couldn't like participate in any conversation. Like I couldn't make any jokes. So I was like keep like watching their mouths and then like keep listening and then I just laugh. I always smile. After like 2-3 months, my English didn't get really well. I got comfortable with using my poor English. I just like throw out words. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or it was like perfect sentence or not. I just threw out words and then tried to express my opinion. At first it was kind of embarrassing. They couldn't get what I was trying to say. But then they got used to it too, and then I got used to it, and then they tried to, and then we could have some like connections. I couldn't say that I was having a proper conversation till like 7 to 8 months.
Okay, I don't mean to make you feel embarrassed, but at first when you start to hang out with your friends, then they must have asked some questions to you, but then you couldn't really speak a thing in English. Then like how did you respond to their questions? You must have said something.
Of course I could speak some English, you know, like just simple English, like oh hi, my name is Dong Kim, and but when you go out with your friends, you don't use that kind of English. Like you have to like improvise, like in some situations, like you have to say some words to make somebody laugh. So that's the hardest part. I couldn't think of something in Korean that makes them like really make them laugh or make them smile, but then I couldn't say it because I don't know how to put it in English. If they ask me about like formal questions, like oh, where do you live? Oh, I live somewhere. I could answer those kind of questions. It's not that hard. All the people who follow the common education system in Korea, I think they can answer that kind of question too. What makes them nervous and what makes them really think that they are not able to speak English is that they think that they cannot improvise about like the random questions.